this Ramadan.
Of course, dear listeners, you are listening to News and Views on Salam Media. And as you've just heard, this hour in particular is brought to you by the Africa Muslims Agency. And we're privileged to be joined by Ashraf Gangrekar from the Africa Muslims Agency for this hashtag fired up segment. And so yesterday, of course, our brother Ashraf told us, it's over until it's over. And we'll only find out tonight if Ramadan is actually over or one way to go. We are joined once again by Ashraf Gangrekar from the Africa Muslims Agency. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah, Dr. Abdullah, and to the listeners, viewers, and to everybody streaming. It's great to be with you again. Doc, today I want to speak. Well, it's still not over till it's over, right? I mean, Allah knows best. But today I want to speak about hope. So you were not, right in the beginning. I spoke, I think, on the first three or first 5 days, on this particular show. And on the first day, I remember this clearly, I spoke about, for some people, alhamdulillah, despite all the sense of readiness, Ramadan jumped on them. And they would enter Ramadan feeling not 100% ready, and they were maybe struggling to get into the groove, and this could weigh you down. And so I try to share my views with people like who found themselves in this position and said, well, it's okay. They don't stress about it unduly, because if you're stressed that you're not ready, it's in fact going to block your progress. Today, I want to say that as Ramadan comes to an end, we know, for example, the countries in the Middle East, and I know Saudi Arabia has announced that, in fact, they will have Eid tomorrow. There'll be some communities in our country who have tomorrow, depending on the side of the mooning, and Allah knows best. But there'd be many of us who feel that, oh, I didn't quite draw the best from the month, that I should have done more. And this, I believe, is a sense that we all have. And that, bottom line, it's the sense of the month has come to an end, and have we done enough? And I think the answer is no, because we would always feel that we should have done more, there was room for improvement. So my message today, Dr. Abdullah, and to the viewers and listeners, is the sense of hope, meaning we as Muslims, it is incumbent on us to have hope in the mercy of Allah, in the forgiveness of Allah, and with that mercy and forgiveness must come the emancipation of the fire, inshallah. So if we are now spending our time feeling down and miserable and sad, not because the month is leaving, but perhaps we did not use it to its optimum, then I'm saying to you, my brother and my sister, don't do that. Change that despair into hope, because Allah's promise to us is, do not despair. Allah's mercy and forgiveness, is that great. So I want to give maybe two pieces of advice. The challenge always is what happens after Ramadan. And I mean, libraries have been written on this topic, right? You don't need me here to speak to you about it, Dr. Abdullah. But I just want to highlight two things. I speak for myself, and I don't cast any generalizations or aspersions on anyone. It's very difficult, to now every day still be getting up with tahajjud. Alhamdulillah, thumma alhamdulillah. There are many people who easily do this. Rank and file, oh no, it's in Ramadan, so there's obviously no Tarawih Salah outside of Ramadan. Okay? But not in as many people would perform Qiyamul Layl. So as important as those activities are, if we understand that Ramadan, as Prophet ﷺ tells us, is a shield, an armor, then my dear brothers and sisters, I'm saying to myself first and to each and every one of you, we must continue to wear the armor by continuing the excellent habits. If we do this, then this despair that we might feel today must change into hope. And there are two things I want to highlight. The one is gratitude. I speak to myself, everyone, try your utmost to live a life of gratitude. That when we wake up in the morning, the dua, that we thank Allah for raising us from the mini death. You obviously always we are grateful to Allah, and then please don't forget to be grateful to those around you, your family, your friends, your co-workers, your employees. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. And then the second thing I want to impress is give charity, whether to AMA, that would be great, or to anybody in your family. So we know, alhamdulillah, in Ramadan, Dr. Abdullah, we all are generous and trying to follow, obviously, the Prophet ﷺ's examples, and we are disbursing our zakah, and we are being generous with our time and our efforts and our money. If we can make sure that we make charity, I'd like to say daily, but that might be tough, at the very least, a weekly or, a monthly habit. That this is a habit we had in Ramadan, and I'm going to continue with it to try and impact and improve the lives of everyone. Then I think we're on a good wicket. So, in a nutshell, I want to say, let us, a Muslim is not he or she who lives a life in despair. A Muslim is he or she who lives the life in the hope, the eternal hope, in the mercy and the forgiveness of Allah. And I pray then that His mercy and forgiveness envelops us, and that we maintain the shield, this armor of Ramadan after Ramadan, and that He allows us to see very many more Ramadans, inshallah.
I mean, and thank you so much for that reflection on hope. I mean, it reminds me, of course, Imam Mawlud writes in his book Matharat al-Qulub, the purification of hearts, that extended false hope is a quick acting poison, which is assuring yourself that death is a long way away,
So,
which generates hard-heartedness and indolence regarding obligations and leads us towards the prohibited. However, the one who's engaged in preparing for tomorrow or writing works of knowledge, and that he considers as extended hope, is not blameworthy. And so it's really
alhamdulillah.
important, of course, to be hopeful, and to understand that an unsustainable situation, and in many ways, life is an unsustainable situation. We're all going to
Absolutely.
die.
Sure.
Is a really important uh, you know thing that we must do as Muslims, and so to prepare, for what comes next, but at the same time to be, participating in good
Absolutely.
practices,
Sure, sure.
ibadah, giving to charity, and also, of course, creating knowledge and educating ourselves. And so it's always wonderful to have you on here. Of course, you educate
Likewise.
us as well with your insights.
Sharing, inshallah.
And so jazakallah khair, and inshallah, Allah will reward everybody for all the good work that,
Ameen.
that they
Ameen, inshallah. Allah accept.
inshallah.
Take care.
All
All the
right,
best.
thank you so
Alaikum
much.
salam wa rahmatullah.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you for joining us, Ashraf Gangrekar from the Africa Muslims Agency. We'll be back once again after this short break with our next guest.
This Ramadan, give the gift of clean water.